Is this going to be outtake still? Or are we on the show now?
Because we haven't said intro. Fucking.
So are we still on our intro? Is this the outtake? What is going on here?
Right.
Start fresh, go. Welcome to Ryan's Road Podcast. That's your life.
Yeah, that's fine. Right then, welcome to Ryan's Road Podcast, episode 33. And I'll never say that with full confidence, I swear. Fuck it.
You should have heard the preamble. We've just had for 3 minutes. What a fucking load of nonsense.
I might even just fucking put it in the start. Fuck it. Whatever.
Oh, Jesus.
So I hope you're all well. Welcome to all the new listeners and watchers. It's great to have you. Yay.
We love you. Thank you.
We really do. No, I really appreciate the comments we've been getting. I've been having trouble with some comments on YouTube where it's showing me in the notification that there's a comment. And like it even gives me the preview of the comment, but then when I go into the video, it isn't there. And I've tried deleting the app, reinstalling the app, like going through. I've even watched YouTube videos about not seeing comments on YouTube and different settings that could be like in.
Have you tried looking on someone else's phone?
No. Right, I don't feel like this is the time.
Good point.
Yeah, idiot. We can do that after.
We can do that after.
But we can try that. So yeah, if anyone's commented and I haven't replied to you, it's not because I'm being a cunt. It's because I can't get to you. I am sorry.
If you want a definite way of getting to him, it's Instagram, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the one that has done it, I did message him saying, like, because I talked to him on Instagram, saying, like, I can't reply to your comments. And they're like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, you haven't got to reply to all my fucking shit. I'm like, yeah, but anyone passing by that could possibly see it, either way. See, that's a mess.
I feel like there's 4 or 5 people in particular that are, like, very, what's the word? Not chatty with us. They're very welcome, very nice, very... Yeah, encouraging.
I'd say they're the beginnings of our community.
Oh man, have our own community of awesome people.
That's so the way cool. it's feeling with the couple. But the ones that tagged in the post the other day on Instagram.
They're the founding fathers of our new community.
Well done, you.
Well done, you. We'll have your heads on a mountain. We'll call it Mount Ryan.
Well, I mean, we've had people listening from the beginning.
We have, yes.
But these are the first ones that are like interacting nicely. Like I say, it's feeling like a community with them.
I feel like this is the first group of people that we don't have any kind of pre-existing relationship with.
Yeah, like it's someone we went to school with, or someone we used to work with, or someone we're family with, or anything like that.
Random people out of the blue that have.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is really nice, actually.
Like I even had a nice comment the other day on one of my posts. I'm really tempted to grab my phone and look for it, but I can't be asked. Basically saying like, don't know how the fuck we ended up getting connected on Instagram, and I'm half like, yeah, it's because I've just been following like a shit ton of people, mate. But I didn't say that bit. But it said like he said something along the lines of like, been watching you and your mate, so you must have added him as well.
Must have, yeah.
Like been watching what you're doing and like basically really likes it and whatnot. Keep fucking doing it. And he said he hasn't checked out the podcast yet. He says, but I definitely will. I was like, fucking top man.
Just knowing that there's like a good solid 10 people listening every week, man. It's like.
It's beautiful.
Man, I feel so. People want to hear us waffle, and people want to hear us talk about shit.
I know. Right, enough of stroking our own dicks.
I'm not stroking my own dick. It's just unusual.
I know, but
people, yeah.
It's nice to talk about.
Just a big thank you again.
Yes,
thank you. We will move on now. Thank you.
Right, yeah. So this week I've got. I wouldn't say I'm prepared, but I'm a little bit prepared. I've got a bit of a better general idea than I normally fucking do.
Yes.
Yeah. And you actually helped remind me because you messaged me about saying you had some good shit to say about the one topic, and I was like, fuck yeah, I forgot about that. Because from myself, I listened to a lot, or did, of Jordan Peterson, who's a clinical psychologist. He's got his university course on YouTube.
So you watched all those? I never did.
I watched all those, but I mean, not only did I watch through them, but like I used to go back to them constantly. Like that's just what I'd put on when I'd choose to go to sleep at night. Like I'd turn the telly off and whatnot, and I'd chuck one of his university, what do you call it? Not a seminar?
I think it is seminar.
Is it a seminar?
I think seminar is the word, like a lecture.
Yeah, lecture, that's it. One of his lectures on, and I'd just leave it playing, put a timer on my phone, and I'd leave it on for me to fall asleep to. And then I'd just do that for weeks, and then like once I got to the last one, I'd go back to the first one.
Man, I used to do that all the time with stuff.
Went through his books, and there's like Jocko and other people that basically I absorb and take in. But one of the JP things, because he basically put a post up the other day, and I shared it. And when I shared it on the Facebook page, I did put, I might go into this in the podcast, and James took note of that, thankfully, because I'd forgot. Basically, he talks about, so like nice guys finish last sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, I think people get into that conscientious thing of like, you don't. Get my words out right. It falls into the same vein that I always pick out of there still seems to be a lot of stuff where people always think it's black and white. It's good or bad. And it's
Dude,
almost...
It's not.
Especially when you're younger, you really think like it's either,
I think when
it's either this or that.
When you're younger.
But I see people do it now. We're still just adults, still do it with a lot of stuff. It's this or that, and it's like the world is full of grey.
I say the world is just one big grey area.
Yeah,
man.
big
it's how
grey.
you perceive it.
So with this thing stemming from JP, he basically puts across how being the good guy is not only not good, but it's dangerous. Right, and I know this quite well from reading his stuff and whatnot, and like kind of milling over in it myself. I think there's a great way of wording it. What was it? It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
I love that. I love that way of putting it. That's not mine. I've took that. Like, so I ain't going to take credit for it, but it's a beautiful way of putting it. Because the general idea is, I think the way he even words it himself is, what do you say? He doesn't say an animal. But basically, you've got to be a warrior. You've got to learn to be a beast. You've got to learn how to be really fucking destructive.
You've got to be a what?
A beast? An animal?
No, a warrior.
A warrior. Warrior?
Warrior.
Warrior?
You know how I me about saying was?
Was.
You're saying warrior.
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 Okay, sorry. Yeah. I can change that.
No, keep going. Did you?
Warrior.
Do you? I feel really bad.
Do you, boo boo? No, it's fine.
That was literally just a jab because you say I say the word was.
Oh, you do?
Funny.
I jab at you all the time for that shit.
You do.
Jab back. Fucking carry on.
You better be a beast.
Yeah, got to be a beast. But so you can start to read that and go, what the fuck are you on about? Why would I want to be horrible? Because straight away your mind goes to like the black and white thing of like, why would I want to be bad? Why would I want to be mean to people? But it ain't that. It's about having the capability. Because then he goes on to say, you got to be able to be like that and then control it. Right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is with good guys is, I love this, doing air quotes for anyone not watching the video. Good guys can explode. You know what I mean?
Can.
These are the good guys that go shooting up fucking schools. You know what I mean? Like stabbing their fucking wife to death and shit like that. Because they can't cope. Because they've spent their whole life trying to be good. I'll just do the right thing. It's okay. Someone be's a complete cunt to them. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, it's my fault I did it. And one day they just snap. Like, that ain't good. Like, you need to know how to handle life. You need to know how to be like assertive and put yourself forward and push and everything else, but in a tempered, controlled manner. But
you need to know when to unleash it.
Yeah, you need to have the capability. Again, that saying, better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener.
That is a nice little phrase, that is. It makes complete sense, doesn't it?
Because a gardener in a war is fucking useless, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. And
I'm
afraid life is like a big fucking war. There's tons of battles.
Unless you're Samwise Gamgee. He was pretty fucking handy in Lord of the Rings.
Was he really?
Yes.
I mean, he was
carried Frodo to the top of Mount Doom, mate.
Yeah, great. He carried his friend to a fucking big hill. I mean, you got that ring we've been looking for. You know, like Lord of the Rings, I'm just fucking hounding you. So yeah. I'm trying to think of a better way of going around this, because this is one of the things where you can feel like, well, yeah, I basically said it now.
See, I've got a different kind of approach on that.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Not a different approach, but the way you word, that's the way it works perfectly. But when you say the whole good guys finish last thing, I think of the white knighting that goes on.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard that term before. When
no,
people
that's
say
new
white
to me.
knight, it's,
no.
You know, the whole I'm good to you.
Sounds like a sexual term
to
me.
Basically, it's like good
hey,
guys.
We're going to get a bit of white knight in.
People say good guys finish last and all that shit. Like, oh, I never get the girl. They never want the good guys. Blah, 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 blah. But it's like, yeah, but you're only being good to her because you want to fuck her.
Yeah.
So that's not being good.
Yeah.
That's white knighting, essentially. It's
oh,
like,
okay.
You try to be all chivalrous and nice because you think
knight.
she'll want to fuck you. So, but that's not nice, is it? That's not good. You've only been nice to her because you want to fuck her.
Yeah.
That's it. So then yeah, you know what I mean. But that's the way I think when you say good guys. That's how I can see
in an interesting way going down that alley. I think we've touched on this before. Whereas, like, I mean, I did it when I was fucking younger, mate. Because you think, like, oh no, I'm being like the good one, the right one, respectful and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, even if, like, women, girls, female, the opposite sex, don't know it consciously, subconsciously, within the fucking reproductive fucking chemical balance, whatever, they need someone that's going to provide. They need someone that's going to protect them, look after them, all that shit. And especially, like, today's world as well. Like, they've got to be reliable. Again, this is why they say, like, if you're fit, healthy-wise, you know, you look like ripped or whatever, like, people think, like, women tend to go for that. It ain't just because, like, oh, he's got abs and it's like a physical thing. So we'd have a woman sat here and go, oh yeah, I do love abs and da-da-da. This is why I say not consciously. Because within that, it shows there's commitment there. I'm sure I've said this before. Because to be able to get like that, there's got to be effort put in. There's got to be commitment put in. You don't get to look like that unless you've committed to something. So it's like, oh, if they could be that committed to make themselves look like that, then they've got the potential to be that committed to me. And like have a relationship that kind of mirrors that physical look sort of thing. Because it'd like be really great. But then obviously, because life's a fucker in sort of people's minds, it's like, yeah, they could have that kind of commitment, but it's only because they're a complete arrogant cunt and they're really vain. Like, you know, there's loads of different things. Or it could be because they're a complete mental fucking mess and they really, really hate themselves and they just need that just to keep them on fucking balance. Like, it's never that, again, never that black and white. And then just because they look fit and ripped and everything, don't mean they've got the whole fucking lives together. It definitely, I'm sure they'd be worse off without fucking exercising because exercising helps a fucking lot.
Because for some people, exercising's all they've got.
But again, actually, slightly segueing, in relation to that about looking aesthetic and whatnot, I said this to my Fight Club coach the other day. Well, I didn't say it, he said it, because he's been training more because he's got some competitions coming up and whatnot. And he said when he goes to gym and he's doing like his weights and stuff, he said he doesn't feel as good as he does after he's been at in his jiu-jitsu gym and done some good hard rolls. For anyone that isn't familiar with jiu-jitsu, rolls is what we say in jiu-jitsu, as in boxing you'd say sparring.
Yeah,
right?
You roll about.
So if you're boxing, you're like, right, we'll do some sparring. So you can imagine the energy put into boxers sparring, right? That's what jiu-jitsu rolling is. It's when you're sparring, basically. So you're matching two blokes just fucking grappling with each other, going for it and whatnot. And when he said that, I went, well, yeah, because you're not getting your heart rate up. And he was like, oh, yeah.
It's all cardiovascular.
I was like, yeah, it's cardio. So, yes, there's people out there that do
I hate cardio.
That could get aesthetic from just, like, not eating too much shit and just doing a load of weights. Yeah, there's a bit of cardio involved. Like, you know, you bang out a good few fucking reps or something and you're pushing. That's going to get your heart rate going.
Yeah.
But it's not like the same thing you get from maintaining a constant heart rate.
Yeah.
In that kind of, like, 130, 140 zone, which you get, again, if you're grappling, sparring, whatnot, or if you're going to go running, or you do, like, a little 5-minute session of just pushing like we do in the morning for our workout.
Yeah.
For that reason, it does clear your mind and it helps gives you clarity to think about things. And I think it helps temper you as well, doing like good cardio like that, because it almost like washes away. Whereas people that just do strength training don't get that. They will get a little bit of cardio from it. I ain't going to bullshit you, but nothing like having a sustained heart rate.
Well, what have we said? We always feel better after doing the cardio.
Fuck yeah. I often refer to it as the magic button, because it fucking is. And again, when you think of it, almost anything now, like I've said it countless times, like thinking of us back when, like what we're fucking made for, what we were designed for, the way we were physically made. Like we haven't evolved yet. Like humans on this planet are so fucking nuts compared to every other living thing. It's fucking crazy. Like how many fucking David Attenborough bloody documentaries I've fucking listened to, and I'm sure most people have and whatnot, and he's there and he's on about this animal and blah blah blah, and there's like fossils of it. You can see how it's like changed over like thousands of years.
And the rest.
Yeah, exactly. Like millions to adapt to like, oh well, actually this one used like snakes that used to have legs and shit. No, I don't know specifically, but you get examples like that.
Snakes ever had legs, right?
I'm just generalising. I'm spitballing. I can't think of a specific example, but I mean
evolution. Yes, I know.
Yes, you get it. But it's usually generally over millions and thousands. Whereas our civilization in the past couple hundred years
has exploded.
Fucking ridiculous. Nothing. So like,
I'd say over the last 2,000 years, really.
Oh yeah. And when you look at if you watch anything to do with history and stuff like that, like when they talk about blips, it's like they'll be like talk about 10 or 50,000 years. They'll be like, oh, in a blink of an eye, like the climate changed from this in like 20,000 years, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck man, that sounds like a long time to me. But in the history of the Earth and how long it's been around, it's like that ain't a big fucking step.
What the fuck's 20,000?
So actually, years? Even just 1,000 years for us is like having how much it's changed is like that's fucking crazy. Like if our civilization got wiped out by a big fucking meteor and all that apocalypse, blah de blah, and civilization started to build itself back up, and they started finding shit about us. They'd be looking at us like, what the fuck? Like, they went from this to this in such a short time. Like, what happened there? What was the accelerant?
That's what they're saying. They reckon that we're not the first civilization.
Yeah, this story is exact. It's not.
They found like stuff that's thousands of years old, but it's like way more advanced than our stuff.
If you want to get into that shit,
I love that kind of shit idea.
If you like it, you want to listen or read Graham Hancock's books. Because it's not.
Is that an Audible? Because I ain't reading.
Yeah, that's where I got him. And he's been on some Joe Rogan podcasts and Jocko, I think, as well.
I just love stuff. I don't necessarily believe it. I just think it's a cool like theory.
He fully goes into some stuff, and he has other people on. And he's like a journalist, so he goes and looks at what the archaeologists have done or the scientists have done, and then puts it all together. Basically, because in sciences, it's a whole load. We could do a whole fucking podcast about that. Because they like cover shit up, they'll like refuse to accept things and whatnot, unless everyone, and because they're in such like an academic world, they don't want to lose their reputation. So if they find something that goes against the dogma sort of thing, they won't say it. Whereas you and me are like,
you don't want to lose your tenure at a fucking nice fancy university, do you?
Whereas you and me are like, we'd be like, well, we found this skeleton that's like 100,000 years older than the other one that we thought was the oldest. So now I found a new oldest. It'd be like, no one's gonna take that. Yeah, it doesn't matter that I found it.
It's affecting the status quo.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that I found it. I fucking tell it. So it's a lot of stuff like that he tells you that you don't hear in mainstream like sciences and whatnot. And you listen to how he puts it all together, and you're like, mate, I believe you. So it's fucking nuts. The evidence is there.
True?
It's. I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't say it's like yes, that's happened, but it does make you go, mate, that sounds really fucking possible.
Well, I agree with the general consensus that we don't really have a fucking clue about anything.
So. Reeling myself back out of the tangent. Sorry, guys. Again.
Tangents are what people are here for, right?
Yes, that's right. So again, looking at how we are as fucking people, and how society has gone.
Well, we're not made for this, are we? We're not made for this.
Exactly, we have not. So when people are there, I don't want to segue into that completely yet. Might do.
Ryan, we're already off the rails.
Oh, I know. I'm so sorry. Because I was talking to the wife again the other day. I can't remember where we were, but I was on about. When people will often say to me, because of how much I do and exercise and things, but, oh, mate, I don't know how you have the energy. And it's like, because you don't do it.
Yep.
Like, I'll have days where I'm, like, really sluggish and I hate the feeling. And I don't go to thinking, like, oh, I need to go to the doctors or, like, something like this. Pardon me. I'll be like, I probably had a few too many biscuits and, like, sweet, sugary treats the last couple of days. And I'm not getting enough fucking cardio in. Like, I know I'm not. And that's like what I'll think when I'm hitting them like lethargic feelings. Whereas a lot of people will just hit that feeling and be like, oh, like, I ain't got the energy to exercise. Like it's a thing, like going and exercising. And I say exercising, everything feels like these words now have already got such an embedded meaning and recognition within like society. It's almost like you say it and it's like people take it a certain way. So when I say exercising, already I feel like no one's going to listen to me when I say it like that. Whereas I say exercise as much as I think breathe and eat. Like it's a thing we have to do. Like for our bodies. Like it makes sense.
Well, we're not supposed to just sit on our ass 24
exactly.
hours.
So when people are saying, oh, I ain't got the energy to do that, it's like you haven't got the energy to do that because you don't do that. It's like you need to go and do it to realise you can do it and then realise how much it's going to fucking help you. And if you can really get in your head that you were not meant to fucking live like that, like... I don't know, you wouldn't put a fucking lion in a room and expect it not to kill the smaller animal to eat it. I guess something like that. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. I'm not fucking coming up with one. I'm sorry. I'm usually pretty good at that sort of shit. But what I'm getting at is that this is what we're naturally meant to do. Our bodies, as we are hunter-gatherers.
Yep.
Aren't they? I mean, barely even... I think we evolved into hunter-gatherers, to be fair. Like brain capacity wise, but like physiologically, we were just meant to be like running from shit that was trying to kill us,
or running to kill shit,
running to catch shit to fucking eat. Like I don't know, just anything like just moving, climbing, whatnot. Like
it's when you're saying stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, that's what we're meant to be.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing. Another little tangent.
Go on.
When people are going about like why can't they have world peace? I'm like, because war and killing each other is hardwired into us.
Yeah.
So even when we were like cavemen, as it were, it's like, oh, you got a nice cave in a nice safe area.
Bump.
I want that.
Yeah.
Give it to me, or I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And that's just how it works.
Yeah.
And it's like no matter if people go, oh, war's all fought over religion and land and blah blah blah. It's like we will always find something to kill each other over.
Oh fuck yeah.
Always, it's in our DNA.
Yeah.
We're meant to fight. We're meant to kill. It's who we are.
So it's like obviously, again, that's like more of a like we haven't evolved for society yet. Like it's like this societal rule, like don't kill people. Obviously, I'm not condoning killing people because they're a cunt, but as you're touching on with what I'm saying, like physiologically, we're not designed to not kill people. It's like, yeah, someone pisses you off, you get angry. That's why there's cases where people, it's manslaughter, not murder. Because
dude, if I was starving to death, literally starving to death, I would kill and eat someone.
That's what I mean. And again, we weren't designed physiologically to have food this fucking available.
No.
I can roll out of bed, fucking crawl down. Some people even have it in the fucking bedrooms. Stumble down the fucking stairs, open a cupboard, and there is food. There is fucking food there. I even say to the wife when we're struggling like really bad with money, and she's like thinking we ain't got much for like to do like the weekly shop sort of thing. I'm like, there's food in the fucking house. Like, yeah, it might not be fancy. I might be having a tin of beans for dinner, but that's fucking food.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't fucking worried.
Fucking noodles, mate. It's food, innit?
It's like, this is why you get some people now, they'll do the intermittent fasting and stuff like that.
I've heard good things about that.
Exactly, because if you think about it, we were designed to have, like, we didn't know when our next meal was going to be.
Well, that's our weekly Jocko plug. He goes on about that, doesn't he? He's like, people have brought donuts into the office. He's like, I'm obligated to eat them. You know, they're free. Someone's brought donuts in. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, you can go another 4 hours without food. You don't have to eat.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're not meant to have food. We were meant to go and hunt it, kill it, and then probably store it for a day or two.
Yeah.
And hunt and kill again.
Yeah. And it's not. I really think like segueing into schools. It's like this shit should be taught in schools, but it ain't because it isn't like a common knowledge. Like I really think it should be. It should be like a thing that everyone gets taught when they're kids. Of like, never mind society. Like this is how we were designed to be. So be aware of that's how you're meant to be. So you're meant to. You don't have to eat all the fucking time. Like, you don't have to have your fucking breakfast, lunch, fucking dinner, and, like, snacking in between and everything else. It's like, you do need... I know they do PE at school, but even that feels like bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, they just play games. I really think, like, PE at school should just be exercising. It shouldn't be, like, playing football and playing these games. It should just be fucking exercising. Push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats.
Stuff that you'd need to do.
Mate, my fucking kids do it in the 5 and 6. Like, even Chester was saying, like, I don't like PE, it's boring.
When you think about it, stuff like this, I've never really thought about it this way, but it's like, how lucky we are to have the choice to be vegetarian or vegan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you've got the choice to not eat animals.
Yeah.
Like, how mental, when you really think about that, how fucking insane is that? Because we were meant to eat animals. Like, that was how we were supposed to live. We were supposed to use every part of the animal.
So I was wondering this back in when I was thinking about this recently, actually. Because obviously I always think about this thing about like how we were born to be. And I thought about this with food and meat. So I'm like, did we eat it raw to start with? Because we didn't always have fire.
I'd imagine we would have ate it raw, yes.
Like, surely we'd learnt to cook it with a fire.
Well, we found fire, and then we were like, oh, what happens if we hold food over this?
Yeah. So I'm like, before that, did they literally just like... Obviously, I'm guessing...
They would have just ate it raw, mate.
Just like...
Yeah, we'd have ripped chunks off and just ate it.
Fuck.
I think fire was initially, I'd imagine, for just heat and warmth, and I imagine safety as well. Yeah. So you can see.
Before it gets too far, I'm just going to turn the camera off and on.
Oh, what happens if I put this over the fire? What happens if I put this bit of food over the fire? Ooh, that's nice.
Oh, wouldn't you love to know? This is where time machine talk comes into it, isn't it?
The first people that did it. It'd be amazing.
But then again, that goes into like...
Do you reckon it was an accident? It could have been an accident.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is where you get into like Graham Hancock talks, because when he goes into shit, it's the argument of there being an advanced civilization that was there before. Yeah. Because arguments of things that have been done, it's like, how the fuck, like Stonehenge and things like that. Yeah. And the pyramids are still really highly questioned. Because a lot of the reasons and like how the pyramids were built and stuff seems to be like more along the lines of like, oh, it was built like this. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't... It was done like this.
Yeah, I don't know how like 50 people got those slabs, those fucking slabs.
It just sounds like bullshit. So then obviously it's a thing of like, well, someone come and helped them, or someone told them a way of doing it. So this is where you get into like alien talk.
It's not just that, man. I think a lot of old cathedrals built like just even like a good couple of 100 years ago. It's like, how the fuck did they build shit like that?
One slight twist that I'll do put on that is because we think of that now, because you think of modern man having to fucking build it. Whereas like, whether they get time for themselves and go and watch that new show on Netflix, it's like, if you go back that far, it's like, that's all, they just worked. They done the Alien Apocalypse podcast that I done. They got food, water, air, and they worked. That was it.
Simple at times.
And I think then because people maybe I always think this when it's like because there was always like someone big in charge, like there was always like a king or like pharaoh and whatnot. It's because like, we still haven't evolved to like really think for ourselves. So like
there's always been leaders.
It's easier to be like, oh yeah, he said do this. Good at. And you still get people like it now. Like
you get insured safety and food and stuff if you do what he says.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna do what he says because I've got a house and a food in my fridge and stuff.
I'd guess in one way that's one way we might have evolved a bit, but not everyone, not so much. In that, yeah, a lot of people now, well, everyone in the world is responsible for themselves. You haven't actually got someone telling you exactly what to do and whatnot. And that's why you get some people that just get locked in some fucking piddly job and they're there for like 50, 60 years quite happy. Because that's like old school, man. Whereas now I think there are more people taking on that independent role.
But a lot more independent artists.
But the whole human race hasn't evolved that far yet.
No.
Like there's still like the whole.
There's just a few pioneers, really, isn't there?
Yeah. Did we cover the fucking don't be a good guy thing enough?
Well, essentially, what it boils down to, it's all bullshit. The world is complete and utter random fucking chaos.
You've said this before.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I generally think people are good. I like to think people, as general, they're good.
No, I don't agree.
Do you not agree? I'd like to think if I was dying on the side of a road, someone would help me.
See, going back to this is quite nice actually because I said, do you think we're done with the whole being good guy thing? You didn't quite answer my question, but now you have. Because I'd prefer to think that everyone's a cunt and they're all very selfish.
I think people generally are selfish.
Yeah, but then they choose to be good.
You don't think people are just innately good?
Nope.
I don't know.
They ain't going to tell you that. No one's going to fucking tell you that. No one's going to say like, oh, I wanted to fucking leave him for dead. Or like, I felt like just stabbing that person today. I just had a random thought about just stabbing him. I wanted to kill that guy. Like,
I think it's more that people are generally corrupted over time. I think everyone is born innocent, pure. I mean, I look at like my partner's child.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, she wouldn't hurt a fly. Like, she is innocent.
Right.
She is good.
Yeah.
She wouldn't hurt anyone. I think you just grow up and you were just slowly moulded into a person, and that person can be a dickhead or not.
That feels like a whole other podcast.
I think people are good. We are born innocent and pure. It's
like
racism. It's like racism is taught.
Right, yeah, agree with that.
Hatred is taught.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I think people are good.
But what I'm getting at is, because that sounds all very like societal, that you're kind of touching on. I'd feel like it was more how, what the fuck did you say now? About the historic thing, like if you're starving as fuck and there's that person there and they've got food, you will kill them to get that fucking food. That's what I'm getting at. Like, that's the way we are naturally, but we choose to be good. Or we choose not to kill for our food, sort of thing.
We choose not to be animalistic.
Yeah. Not... Maybe
I think I know what you mean and I know what I mean. I get both points. I know what you're saying and I know what I'm saying. I know what you mean.
In a little bit
it's
of
like,
a way...
If it comes down to it, I would stab you if it meant me not dying.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's nice to know.
It's like you like
Cheers,
a starving...
Cheers, best friend.
It's like... yeah, you know what I mean. But you know what I mean? That's the animalistic nature. It's
I can see
survival of the fittest.
I can see why you'd say that. I mean, like I do like to think that there's like people that are just like really, really good and just really, really nice and they'd never hurt a fly and blah de blah. But I'm questioning my own thought of that and saying like, because to me, because of the good guy thing, to me that's scary. That's scary to think that the people out there that are just that pure as you keep saying and good and whatnot, because that's dangerous. That ain't good for the world. Like people that choose to be like that are good. People
it's more that I'm essentially saying that we're born good.
Oh,
and then you just
who the fuck knows how we're born anymore?
You change over time.
There's that much around you.
You're just shaped by what's around you, and you just change.
I don't think we really know. Like,
I don't think we fucking know anything wrong. Nah. We don't know jack shit.
Because like you said, especially once you've had your little, and you'll see as well. Like when you have like a newborn sort of thing, like you've probably heard the saying like kids soak up things like a sponge and blah de blah.
Man.
But like. Mind blowing up, like it's fucking nuts how much they soak in from the environment they're in. So it's like, when you wonder what our natural environment should be, it's like, how would an original baby, in air quotes, be?
I mean, your kids would probably be stabbing and gutting small animals.
Fuck yeah, they would.
And Harvey would be slicing open rabbits.
That's it.
At his age. And probably showing his little brothers how to do it at his age.
I had to have a talk with him earlier, actually, because he was on about this kid at school bullying him. And I was like, right, okay, well, I'm zoning in on this. Let's have a talk. And he was on about, like, but then that turned into, oh no, they're just always trying to get me, but then I'll get them back. I'm like, okay, this isn't sounding so bad. But then that pretty much turned into, like, well, I'll go and get them first. It's like, I start it. It's like, I'll get them first. And he says, but then interesting, he's like, because I want to get stronger and I want to get better. And I was like, right, okay. And I said, like, obviously I went to the whole thing of, like, don't ever start any shit, but always finish it.
Yep.
I went, because obviously when he's 6, like, I remember being 6, 7 and telling my mum, like, oh, we had World War One at school today. I remember this, like, really particular period, and then the next day, oh, we had World War Two again. We was, like, fighting with these kids. But, like, we weren't actually hitting each other. Like,
fucking about.
Fucking 6. And he never comes home bruised or nothing. And the teachers then said shit. So I'm, like, taking it with a pinch of salt. But when he said about the thing of, like, him beginning it, I'm like, right, okay, that I can tell you not to fucking do. Like, don't ever do that. I was like, if you are doing that, stop. If you're just playing and this is actually a game, carry on. I was like, but in future and going forward, if you think you need to start something, don't. Stand your fucking ground. If someone tries starting some shit with you or one of your brothers, you fucking finish it. Okay? But I said, if you're starting it, then you're going to be in the shit with me, because that means you're the bully and I ain't fucking having it.
Nah. I'd be furious if my kids turned out to be
But what was
bullying.
really interesting was he didn't say something kiddie like, I don't like him, Dad.
It was, I want to get better.
It was like, I want to self-improve.
That's such a weird thing for a 6-year-old to say, man.
He ain't your average 6-year-old.
I know he's not.
Like, not at all. So I was like, that's good, but if you want to do that, then pay more attention when you go to Muay Thai. And we call it the Rhino Dolly now, which is basically like a punching dolly made out of go-kart tyres.
Oh, is that what you called that? Is that the name of it?
Harvey wanted to call it Rhino something, so I kept calling it the dolly, because that's what you call them.
Yeah.
It's a dolly. But he said it looks like a rhino. I was like, and he wanted to call it the Rhino something. I went, well, can we meet in the middle? We'll call it the Rhino Dolly. So, but like the other week, at the Miss Fight Club, and I said, well, you get your same amount of stars if you get out in the garden and do some drills sort of thing. And I think I said I'd give you a couple of stars if you did like 10 minutes sort of thing. And then that was it. I think then he was like, oh, we get the same amount if we went to Fight Club. And I went, well, you're normally at Fight Club for 60 minutes. He's like, so what if we do 60 minutes then? I was like, yeah, right. So they stayed out there for an hour, just laying into the punch bag, hitting the fucking dolly and shit. I was like, fucking hell. I stuck my head out the window a couple of times because his technique was terrible. I was like, look, if you're going to fucking do it properly. Where's your guard? Blah, blah, blah. And whatnot. But yeah, it was just, it was interesting how he'd said about like the growth thing. I can't remember why I segued into that, to be fair.
Mate, this whole episode's been one fucking segue. We never stay on topic, ever.
I think we've got through some...
I think we've had quite a deep conversation, to be fair.
I mean, when we say segue, it ain't like blah-de-blah, like, you know, being overly good is dangerous. Oh, by the way, they're bringing out a new fucking Skittle flavour. Like, it all intertwined, it all interlinks. It's all about...
Apparently, they're all the same flavour. It's all an illusionary trick. You close your eyes and eat Skittles,
placebo.
They all taste the same.
Oh.
Apparently.
That might be one to go in. Nah.
What, placebos?
Yeah, sort of, because, like...
Placebos.
Like, the wife, I think I've touched on it before, she's got a wrist injury stemming back from this car crash we had, like, 4 years ago, and now it's looking like she might have to have a full wrist fusion done. It's going to be the only fucking thing to help her. And she asked me the other night, she's like, me being me, I can never give a straight answer. She was like, do you think the pain's just in my head? Because the bone that was broke, that we finally found out was broke, it's been fixed, like it's back together now, like whatnot. It's fine. But when she says to me, like, do you reckon it's in my head? And I went, well, one, touching back on the thing of where a lot of words seem to have their own fucking meaning to them now, and it's like, you need to kind of break that. So, because I says to her, well, when you say that, what you're asking me, when someone says, oh, it's all in their head, is like, it's a conscious thing to, like, make it up, sort of thing. Like, always pretend.
It's not.
But what I said to her, went, well, if you really think about it, all pain is in your head. Everything we think, feel, pain, anger,
well, you
love,
are your brain, aren't you?
Yeah, everything is in your head. Everything, all of it. It's all in your head. Like, that's why you get people where it's like been numbed, and like you can, like, if you got some anaesthetic sort of thing, you stab your fingers and whatnot. It's like, well, physically you're still being stabbed.
You just can't feel it.
But your brain ain't telling you. No, not a microphone. So I was like, I said in one way, I says, yeah, it could be in your head, but not that you're choosing to, because there is a thing that the doctor did explain, because she had the injury for so long before they finally fixed it, like it was going on like 2 odd years.
It could have been normal for her.
What he said, which I thought was interesting, was he said your pain receptors are designed like on and off buttons. Like, it's just designed to be like on off. On off. Like, I'm in pain, right, I'm off. Right, like, just to let you know, I'm guessing it's like a thing of like, right, to let you know where the pain is, like for the injury, so you can look and deal with it as a human, so you know you don't die, sort of thing. Like, ow, that hurts. Why? Look, oh, I'm bleeding. I don't want to bleed out, so let's stop that. Yeah, almost like just, oi, by the way, just letting you know. So you think about it on and off like that. Whereas Ramon, because the injury was so long, he said like a pain receptor type thing. He said it's been stuck on loop. So like try and imagine like anything in your house, like appliance wise, and just leaving it on for 2 years, like a kettle boiling for 2 years, microwave on for 2 years, hairdryer blowing for 2 years. Like, don't sound good, does it? I say that to you, like, fuck, that's gonna go bang. Like, that is not good. So what he was saying is basically, because the pain receptors have been stuck constantly fucking working, even though the actual injury's been fixed, I've not the microphone again, that actually like the brain part that deals with that, the pain, is still on a loop. Like, that's broke. Like the pain bit in her head.
It's been constant pain for 2 fucking years.
Yeah, because she did have this gabapentin.
Yes.
Yeah, which was for after I think her first surgery, and he said that was to cure that. He said it was to like help it wind down.
Right.
But since he said that kind of, I wouldn't say analogy, explanation, I found it really interesting, and I thought, well, that kind of makes sense if that's what it's done. Like, that might just be the problem. Maybe that's what's fucked. I says maybe like just because she's like, I want to bend it this much, it hurts. I was like, maybe that's just because that's now what your brain tells you. If that it's just associated, bend wrist with pain, because for so long,
maybe
that's what it is. Because like you look in the X-ray now and it's all fine. There's nothing there. The MRI didn't really show anything either.
She's just so used to that being painful.
Yeah,
that it's just instilled in her fucking brain.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
I mean, it won't surprise me. I'm sure that's happened to loads of people. I'm sure that's quite a common thing.
I'm sure I half referred it to like if you get a kid that has a bad experience with a dog, right? I know, say they jump up them or they do growl and like get vicious with them, sort of thing, like like scared of a dog, and then you could know damn well then most of the time that child ever comes near a dog, even if it's some little fucking fluffy thing, don't matter, dog, like associate then almost like a PTSD thing, like, well, I associate that now with that. It doesn't matter then, isn't actually going to be. That's just what your brain's then like got the little box of dog and like ticked off next to dangerous, avoid, scary, right, next thing, and just left it there. Like, you can't go back and readjust it. And then it even gets more interesting about like how many things in our lives have we done that to without even fucking knowing.
It's a fucking minefield, right?
It's a whole lot. This is why I like my podcast, because we can talk about everything and anything. And when I say like, oh, talk about life, there's a lot involved in life. People think life's fucking straightforward. It ain't. There's so fucking much that it's a seesaw with
to a certain
2,000
degree.
seats.
Life is pretty fucking simple. Yeah. You live, you die. The end.
Oh yeah, if you want to, you can simplify it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In one respect,
that's like saying like, oh, Pirates of the Caribbean's are great films. It's like, well, yeah, Jack comes, he dies, he comes back, they get some treasure. Yeah.
That's pretty much it,
like,
right?
You can simplify anything, but you watch that film and you can go through the whole story. And there's a lot of things happening and going on, different relationships and different sequences and whatnot, and action, and there's a lot involved in it. It's very complicated. There's a lot to it. Like, you can simplify anything. Doesn't mean it's simple.
God, I really don't like the Pirates films.
Like, someone could say UPS, yeah. Like, you try telling all about UPS about loading a lorry. Oh, you just load boxes for a living. Oh, you get a box, you put it in a lorry. Easy. Mate, go fucking do it. You try keeping up with that. I think
that's more of a physical thing than a simplifying it thing.
Well, it is, because
that is essentially what you do. You load a lorry.
But it ain't what people who don't do it will think. Oh, I'm getting at, as you can
No, you are right. No, I know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Like, yeah, go swim 100 metres in a pool.
No.
You couldn't do exactly. You couldn't. But it sounds simple. Just go swim. Just do it.
Man, swimming 100 metres does not sound... Swimming 10 metres, right, I think I'd probably struggle at 10. I'm not a strong swimmer.
So yes, for argument's sake, you can simplify life, but life is not simple.
Yeah, nothing's fucking
I
simple.
even jested the other night because, like, the wife got all fucking stressy and shit, and she was a bit of a ball ache to deal with for about an hour or so. Got past it, because I've gotten good at that shit. It was fucking hard. But like I says to her, I just after we'd sorted it, because I always have this thing of like, I hate wasted time. So if it looks like the evening's gonna, what did she say? Something along the lines of like, just leave her alone because she's tired, in pain, blah blah. She just needs to get to sleep. And I'm like, yeah, I ain't writing off the evening now. It's like 7, half 7. I'm like, I'm not just gonna go to bed and like sleep on it. Fuck that. We're gonna fix it now in 10 minutes, so that we can have an evening together. Which is what happened. And this is...
I fucking hate to be your wife, man. You would do my head in.
Mate, she hates me, but she completely fucking loves me for it.
I mean, I get it, and I completely understand, but I'll be like, just fuck off for one night, right?
No, because, like I say, she started having her nails done at one point, and she hated going because she couldn't do what all of it... They all sit there and just bitch about their partners. And she was like... I felt so odd, right? She went, I couldn't, because I got nothing bad to say about you, because we saw everything out. I don't leave nothing on the fucking table. Nothing. Trying to find my original point now of what was going on.
You're a fucking... I love you to bits, right? You're my best friend, but you are such a weird man.
More people should be
weird
like it.
In the sense... That's what I mean. You're odd in the sense that that's a better way to be.
Oh, yeah. But no one will fucking do it. Because it seems too much effort. Because this is where... What I originally wanted to get to was the jokey bit, where I says to the wife, because we're on about life being complicated, I just had my imagination likes to play little fucking... I don't know about everyone else, but I have such a vivid imagination. I picture shit all the fucking time.
Because you're autistic, mate.
I am autistic as fuck. So this had happened, and I said I just had this picture of like the boys, my sons, when they're older, coming up to me. Not like when they're like 12 or something, but maybe like late teens, early 20s, and be like, oh, I've got a girlfriend, Dad, and like bringing them home, and like up to that point, me being a very, very involved, like supportive father. Every like their academic career, physical career, sporting career, whatever the fuck they do, I've always been there, giving them advice, helping them through everything, step by step, all the fucking way. And then they bring a girl to me, and I go, yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. Like, any advice, Dad? Yeah, run. Like, fucking, whenever you're right, you're wrong. Whenever you're wrong, you're right. Whenever you could be wrong, you might be right, but then you might not be wrong because you could have been right the first time you did it, but then you want to admit that because then, fuck it, just go. Just run. Hide, just delete a fucking number, hide in a bush, I'll put another bush on top of that, and a fucking cave, and I'll speak to you in a year and I'll tell you when she's gone. Just fucking fuck that. Right. That was like the comedic thing I had. Like, once it had calmed down and we'd settled, like, my brain just, like, imagined that, and I just said to the wife, you fucking hard work, you know that. It was terrible. I'm hard work myself.
Yeah, but nothing worth having's easy.
Yeah. I will touch on the last thing because it's been
it's quite a long one this week, isn't it?
Long podcast. Because I've already mentioned it about that difficult evening, I wanted to touch on self-growth. Now, me, myself, with how close I am with my wife, and with how difficult life is, you know, like all the 3 kids and self-employed and debt and like my PTSD bollocks and, you know, trying to do my podcast and everything else, blah, blah, blah. The wife will often say, when she looks at other couples that have any kind of struggle or anything, like, we'll both say, thank fuck we're not like that. But we'll often say that, not in like a smug way, but more in a like, thank fuck, like we couldn't cope with being like that.
Yeah.
So if there's ever an inkling that like something ain't right with the relationship, I'm like, I can't cope with this. Like, that's the cherry on top for me, because I run it like close to the red constantly with fucking everything. So there's so much going on and whatnot.
Redlining all the time.
Yeah, I'm always like just trying not to shoot myself. So when that happens, I'm like, fuck. That's like, lid's gone off. I can't remember what hour is it now. She say, I'm trying to remember the exact kind of specific thing. Basically said something along the lines of, I'm never there anymore. She went like, you're physically here, but you're never mentally in the room. You're always fucking busy with something and whatnot. And she couldn't cope with that. So I pretty much killed up in a ball. Like, literally, I didn't want to fucking talk. I didn't want to be anywhere. I just wanted to go to fucking sleep. Like I did. I was like, as soon as she said that, I'm like, right, I can't cope with life. Fuck this. Can't handle it. I can't handle the being shit wrong with being the wife on top of fucking everything else. I ain't got time for that. Like, that's a big problem, because for me, I'm like, I can't even leave it. I can't just be like again, the typical thing where you said I'm weird. Because typical thing, like, man could be like, fuck off. Like, shut your fucking mouth, bitch. Like, I'm here, what you want about, like, people that are probably a bit more, like, insensitive or arrogant or, like, unaware of everything. But because I struggle, because, like, I'm aware of everything, I'm like, straight away, I'm thinking, Well, there must be something to what she's saying. It might not be 100%, but there's going to be something. There's going to be some percentage that's actually taken up by what I do, so I've got to take some ownership in that. I can't leave that, so I've got to fix that. I can't leave it, but I ain't got time to fix it. There's a lot of energy involved in fixing it. So like, when the fuck am I going to fix it? Like, because I've got to think about everything else. Boom. So all that, you know how quick people can think. Like, if you had to talk, how the rate that you can think stuff, like, you just never manage it. So I'm like, managed to get the kids to bed and whatnot, and I literally just there's a bit in the kitchen where I sit on the worktop, and I'll sit on top of the worktop and cross my legs. And I tried talking to her, and then she said something else about it, about like me being on like my phone and things like that, because I know it'd be like eBay or something like that, or I don't know, like checking my Instagram with this and whatnot. So I just remember sitting there, and I was just like feeling completely fucking overwhelmed, because she went, I'm going to go, because she asked me if I wanted dinner. Now, if me and her aren't right or anything, I can't eat, because I can't think about anything else. I'm like, I ain't going to fucking eat, because I need to do this. So she asked me if I wanted dinner. I'm like, I couldn't talk. I was like... So she was like, right, I'm going to go sit in the lounge. I was like, right, okay. So I just, in that moment, again, just completely overwhelmed. I'm like, I'm just going to go to fucking bed. Can't cope with this. Like, you feel like the whole fucking world sat there, like, just the amount of fucking weight and pressure. Your mind's just fucking racing away, like one of them fucking bunny rabbit things that the racing dogs chase, and you just can't keep up with it, and like just millions of little explosions, blah blah, just full on panic. I'm painting a really good picture here, and then I just had this fucking voice go like, "You're gonna have to fucking evolve, then, ain't you, right?" I was like, "If this is your limit, and you can't go past this, you're gonna have to make a new limit, ain't you? You're gonna have to evolve in this moment, right now, like right now." And I feel like it relates to pretty much anyone listening to this podcast can surely think of something in their life that they're capable of now, whether it be a physical ability, skill, or a mental. And surely you can think of a time before you had that. Whether it's jumping out of a plane, I don't know, skydiving or some shit. And it's like you're there and you're shitting your fucking self and you're bricking it. I don't know, doing a bungee jump. I'm thinking of heights here for some reason. But you do it, but before that moment you're like, I can't do this. Like, you'd be fully, this is what I was like, but mentally and emotionally, I was like, I can't do it, I can't. But then you jump, and you're like, fuck, I did it. I can fucking do this. And then the next time you do it, you know you can do it. Yeah. Like, pretty much most things, most skills and attributes people have in their lives, at some point they had to earn it. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So this is what I did there and then mentally, in regards to my life and whatnot. I was like, I'm going to have to fucking evolve. It was fucking hard. So, but in that moment, like, I was managed to. Surely, any people that have dealt with like mental health to this fucking level, you know what I mean. Like, you literally can't move. Like, you can't move your body. You can't talk. It's fucking weird. Like, I've done it in the past and I've gotten better at it. Sometimes I'd sit there for like an hour, 2 hours, half hour, whatnot. But like, it literally been like 5 minutes. And as soon as I moved, I'm like, I managed to fucking move. This is good. And I went in the wife and I sat with her. And like, it was a terrible conversation, and I was like, when I'm really stressed, I talk. You might think I talk quick on the podcast, but when I'm like really stressed, I'm like, I don't know if it's because I used to rap or whatever, but like, I fucking fly, because I have to get the words out as I think them. So I literally, and I was there and I was talking like shit. My tone was horrible and everything. So within it, I remember like, I can't even remember everything I fucking said. It was almost like I blacked out. But like, within my fucking rant going on to her, I said, like, I know I'm talking like shit. Like, I'm really fucking sorry. I said in the time, I'm trying to grow in this moment right now. So it's really fucking difficult. So I had to plough through it. At the same time, I'm aware she's tired as fuck. It's the end of the fucking day. Turns out she's got an infection in her fucking tooth, which is probably half the reason she's like pain and whatnot, along with the wrist pain and everything else. Like, she ain't even started having her counselling yet for her PTSD from crash. So there's a lot of stuff in the pot, right? But I went through that whole thing and I managed to break it down, because in the moment I was like, because I know I'm good with words, podcast, feel free to jump in any time. I know I'm on a bit of a roll.
No, you're on a roll. Carry on. I have nothing to add.
So when I have them moments, I'll go, what the fuck have I done wrong? And then I'll think, but what has she done wrong? And then I'll go to, hang on, brain. Hang on, brain? You're trying to take over the world.
Nice.
Like, because I know I'm guilty of early days in the relationship of this is a Jordan Peterson thing. You can often out-argue people. Doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah.
So because I'm good with my words, I know in early days of our relationship, I'd out-argued something where I wasn't right. But just because I was better with my words, I can get it across.
Yeah.
Right? So now, whenever this happens, I'll go, yeah, right, what have I done wrong? Because I'll own up to anything I've done wrong. But then I'll start to go to, well, let's double check what someone else has done and what she could have done. I've got to stop it again.
I've got 26, 27.
I might wrap it that time. But then I'll doubt myself then and be like, well, actually, am I actually looking at things that she's possibly done wrong? Or am I just projecting that because I'm out arguing?
Or are you looking for places to point
Like, but basically, with this specific thing to do with, like, I wouldn't say being unattentive, but, like, because this, half of it stemmed from, she'd phoned me when I was at the Fight Club with the boys, sat in the van, and she'd told me something. And then she mentioned it at home, and I was like, what? When? She I told you on the phone. And I was like, oh, I didn't hear that. So she got upset. She's like, well, I thought you were listening. And I was like, well, I wasn't doing anything else. So when I went through the whole situation, I went, is this actually probably like 60%, yeah, fair enough, on me, that there might have been times where, like, I could put my fucking phone down a bit earlier or, like, pay more attention to you sort of thing. But then he's like, another 20% of it, like, because I know there will be times she'll start talking to me about something when I'm literally in the middle of doing something on my phone. Like I'm posting a story or something on Instagram, or like I'm writing a post and whatnot. I'm like, but I started doing this before you started talking to me. Like if I'm talking to her or someone else, like, and I see they're doing something, like I won't start talking to them.
So you're looking at patient number one for not listening. Not, yeah. But it's not that I'm not listening.
Yeah, this is again because you might help. This might help you because, like I say, out of the 100% of the problem, I was being generous. I was like, it's 60% of it me, but I was like, is the other 40% made up of like you? Like, maybe something you can change, like, be more aware of, like, when you're trying to talk to me, and, like, maybe not just get so upset when shit happens. And maybe some percentage of just being, I just didn't fucking hear you. I just didn't know you said it. Like, you got to weigh up some shit to just life. Because life just happens. I don't know what the fuck happened when I was on the phone to her, I was sat in the car. I literally wasn't doing anything. I'm just sat in the fucking car. I was on my phone that she rang me on. So then I was just talking on the phone. I wasn't doing anything. But I didn't hear what she said, one of the details. So I just... random happenstance. Missed it.
Crazy random happenstance.
Yeah. So I'm like, actually, this just built up a percentages of that. And I said, and also, we'd had a week where, I'd been out every evening because I took the boys to Fight Club. I'd just gone back myself that week to Fight Club. She'd had an evening out. She had to take a friend out because it's a close friend and it's her daughter's birthday. So she took her out shopping for a kid. So I didn't see her that evening. And then I think the evening in question of when it happened, she'd been out at the dentist. So I'd had a whole week of evenings not really seeing each other. So I was like, and it's probably that. You know, again, in the pot. And then you could see her coming down a bit to like, oh, yeah, you're probably right. So I was like, well, let's try and be aware of these things. Like, put a little fucking nib in that. And then we'll move forward. Done. And we did. Like, made her give me a hug, whatnot. Chilled out, made a laugh. Done.
And you wrapped it up. Nice.
I'm just going to turn the camera on off so we can say bye-bye. Sorry about that. Fucking hell. 2 camera stops in one podcast. I really have rattled on tonight.
Yeah, I think I've said about 3 words, mate.
I know, right? I think I've even hit all 3 things that I said at the start. When we chatted at the start of the podcast and James said, like, what you got.
Mate, it was an hour ago, I can't remember that shit.
I know, right? But I said, like, a couple things and I probably won't get through all of them today.
I think you've covered your bases thoroughly well.
Yeah, there's some bases there. So, yeah, just fucking evolve, man. Like, don't be afraid to grow. Never think, when you feel like you've hit a limit, never feel like that's a limit. We'll get into David Goggins another day.
Glass ceilings are glass for a reason. You can push through.
Well, that's a nice one. I like that. So, don't be the good guy.
Well, it's not don't be a bastard.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
It's just be yourself.
Again, this comes under the description of what's a good guy.
Let's just stop. We're going to go for another fucking hour now. We'll talk about this next week.
I do anyway, the podcast. One last thing I'll exit on. Because I'm just a cunt. Because I was going to start the podcast with this and I forgot, so I just want to get it in. In that, it's no fucking secret. Like, if you want something, you got to sacrifice it, ain't you?
Yep.
But people will look at me, look at my life, and blah blah and go, "Oh, you do so much. How do you make so much time?" And da da da.
You fucking make time, mate.
Right, like tonight, my wife went well. Like I say, she got this fucking tooth infection. She's fucking fed up. Yeah. So she's just like sat in bed early, lying there, looking a bit sorry for herself. She's my wife. I love her. She's my best friend. I want to be there with her. So
wow.
Yep. So I could be attentive. You know, you're my best
I'm
friend.
whining.
Okay. Be there. She just put Saving Private Ryan on.
Oh, great film.
Great film. We've just been to like the local regiment museum today. So it's only up the road. So after just being there, we've come back. We've got the kids fed into bed. It's like end of the day. I'm like, oh, yeah, I just want to sit with my wife in bed, watch the fucking film, feeling a bit like warish because it's Remembrance Day and everything. Like, I've got my Lego set. If you've been following me stories on Instagram, like, I've nearly completed my fucking Lego set. So I'm like, I'm going to sit there, finish my Lego, chill with the wife, watch the fucking film. That sounds like a really nice, lovely Sunday evening. But at the time, I'm like, got to do the fucking podcast, man. I even joked with her, said like, I'll come in for 10 minutes and be like, oh, you're right, guys. Like, yeah, if you're stressed, don't get stressed. Anyway, right, I'm off. I've got some Lego to go build.
Well, the same boat with me.
Yeah, you do, because you've got your pregnant fucking girlfriend at home.
Which is like 4 days overdue.
Yeah.
So I want to be with her.
She could pop any second.
I'm fucking 2 Pokemon off completing Pokemon. I could have done that tonight. Yeah. I ain't going to do it now. I'm 2 Pokemon off completing the blue Pokedex. Not all of them, just the ones you can physically get on blue.
Yeah.
And I'm 1 episode away from the finale of fucking Final Space Season 3, so I was watching that before I came.
Nice.
So it's like, we've all got shit going on.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it's sacrificing things.
Exactly.
Do things that you know will help you in the long run.
Exactly. And this is what I have to do when people sit there and go, oh, I ain't got time for that. I wish I did and did it. You have the times there. The time is the same for all of us in the world.
You've just got to choose what to sacrifice.
Yeah, you've literally just got to make a decision.
What's worth spending your time on.
Yeah. And like, I do this once a fucking week.
That Lord of the Rings quote, innit? Oh, what is it?
No
all
idea.
we can do is choose to... Oh, what does Gandalf say? Frodo's on about, I wish we weren't alive during these times. He's like, well, neither do I. All we can do is choose to do with the time what we can.
Yeah. Find it out for next time.
I know. I'm blanking on the fucking quote.
Because often I'll be like, oh, why do I have to fucking work? Why can't I just do podcasting in the day, talk to people and do it? But that ain't... Because the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of people will say that, like, oh, I wish I could do that, but I have to do this instead. Why can't I just do this? And then they don't do the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're going to have to take something away to be able to make the time for that. So, yeah. Little finishing note with that. If there's something you want to fucking do, something you want to work towards, stop going and saying, oh, wish you had time, because you've got time. You've just got to decide and choose how you use your time.
Get up an hour early. Get up an hour earlier than you normally do and do the thing that you want to do.
Not even an hour. Get up, if you want to get up an hour, say if you get up at 7 and you want to get up at 6, get up at 10 to 7. And then get up at 1:45, then at 22. And every week or every 3 days, knock another 5 minutes back. If that big hour is too much of a leap for you, because there's some people that do that, you see, that do it and they go, oh, it's too fucking hard. Fuck that. Like, wean into it. Incremental thing. I won't get into that.
Do you think I want my alarm going off at 4:45 in the morning? So if I don't start work until 8. Yeah. It's like, I get up those 3 hours earlier than I need to because I want to do stuff.
Yeah, man. We'll get the workout in.
Yeah.
Boom. Right. Ryan's.road on Instagram, RyansRoad22 on Facebook, and links will be in the description as well for the fitness channel, etc., which I'm getting back on. New vlog tomorrow.
Good lad.
Yes. So that's all coming.
But fuck that guy because my channel's better. Daddy Jane Gaming at Instagram. Jane, Jayne, Daddy Jane Gaming. All one word. It's better than his channel.
I'm going to put you the fuck down now and remind you that you haven't got a channel.
I know. You've got an Instagram page.
You've got an account. You've got an Instagram account. You don't got no channel, bitch.
If I did, it'd be better than yours. He wouldn't.
This guy. I don't think you'd have seen the comment because it was that anonymously accountable that commented on the last YouTube podcast, and she said like, "Well done to you for being like a year sober and whatnot."
Oh, thank you very much.
And I said, "Fuck that guy! Shouldn't have been such a drunk in the first place."
Oh man, no, you're right. I shouldn't have been.
Yeah, there you go. Right, we're going to go because I think this is the longest podcast I've
5
done.
bottles of whiskey a week.
I swear this is the longest one I've done. I've never had to stop the camera twice.
In my defence, it was never shit whiskey.
Okay.
I would never be caught dead drinking a blended whiskey,
God,
mate.
you're such an old alky. You're still talking about the drink.
It'd be single malt, mate. 18-year Glenfiddich, at least.
You're like some cunt going on about the ex that they're over.
I do miss... Do you know, that is the only thing I miss. I miss a whiskey. Not going to lie. I miss a whiskey. I do miss a whiskey. Look, I'm not bothered about beer or anything like that.
Maybe you can train yourself in
No,
to come.
I cannot, Ryan. I'll have 1 sip of whiskey, mate, and I'll be 2 bottles down in half an hour. Fucking... just a mess.
Sounds like you need to do some growing.
Oh, fuck me.
See?
I need to evolve as a person.
You do. Literally. You only say it like that because you're scared to do it.
Oh, no, because I've changed. Yeah, because if I hadn't changed, Ryan...
Oh, sorry, I just love how you went... and then you went...
I have fucking changed. If I hadn't changed, then I wouldn't be sober for over fucking year.
No, it is very good. It's very well done. Like, you've done that.
No smoking for like 8 weeks now.
So you've done the whole cold turkey thing.
It's the only thing that works.
Like, there's nothing...
I know there are other ways that people
long
can
term,
quit.
there's nothing wrong with having a casual thing.
There's not, but I know my personality type, and I've got an addictive personality type.
So you still got some more growing to do.
I just couldn't have it. I might find, because I know they do alcohol-free gin and stuff like that. So if I can find a half-decent tasting alcohol-free whiskey, if anyone knows anything, let me know. If I can find a half-decent alcohol-free whiskey, I will try it.
Because I don't drink, but I don't want to.
You've never drank, though. You've never drank. You drank once tried. And you got fucking paralytic about this guy, about 3 bottles of Budweiser, man, and he was fucking throwing up everywhere. It was hilarious.
It wasn't literally one incident. It was that period of my life.
I remember you used to have the odd beer every now and then.
Yeah, but you didn't. We weren't, like, when I used to go... fucking hell.
You used to just do it at home,
This is off-podcast talk. Only because it's dragging on the time. Fucking, when I used to go for me training when I was a mechanic, I used to go away for, like, 2-3 weeks. But we were, like, we lived... The hotel was, like, just down from Hooters.
Was that Nottingham, weren't it?
Yeah, it was just down from Hooters. Yeah. So every night we'd go to Hooters. And so I'd try to drink. And it was just never... There was quite in this little period of about a year or two. I kept trying. I'd do it. I just want to enjoy it. And I'd try it. I'd give it a bit of a break. And I'd try it again. And it just weren't for me. Because I'm not I ain't got the sociability side. I don't like the taste of them. I ain't got the palate for it. Like, and then I'm not social that way. I'm better as a one-on-one kind of guy. I'm not good in big groups and stuff. Never have been. Like, really. You
tend to fade out in big groups.
Yeah, it's too much.
You're always in the background in a big group, aren't you?
Yeah, because
whereas I'm the centre of fucking attention in a big group, so I have to be.
Yeah, like there's too many.
I think one-on-one you tend to overpower and dominate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd be better nowadays or not.
Fucking
yeah. So all I'm saying is,
drinking now, is it?
So all I'm saying is, I know I don't drink, but like you talk saying you miss it. As a long-term goal, it'd be good to work towards you being able to control it and have a casual drink that you enjoy. Once a month, once a week, just on Sundays.
If anything, if I was ever going to do it, I just drink on holiday.
Okay, it's something you enjoy and you like. So I'm not trying to turn you back into an alcoholic.
It fucking sounds like it, right?
Like, I don't want you getting back to that because that was really bad. Like, the way you got to was really bad. It was the extreme. But it would be good because it's something you enjoy. And I think it's a better example to set for people and for your soon-to-be daughter that it's an even better level of control.
Ah, well, cross that bridge when I get to it.
So, yeah. But you ain't got to do it now. This can be a goal for the next 5 years.
I'm not going to do it now.
To eventually one day.
Can we stop talking about it? I feel incredibly uncomfortable now.
Really? I'm sorry.
A little bit.
Just about a drink?
Yeah, I just don't like talking about it.
See, that shows, like, yeah, you weren't ready. If you're getting that emotional about it, then yeah, you're not.
I'm not getting emotional. I'm just like, just lay off.
It is. Yeah. So if you're feeling like, yeah, it shows like, yeah, you ain't ready to have one. That's why when you say you feel, I know I'm talking to you, just said you're uncomfortable. Sorry.
You can't fucking help yourself.
I know.
You just do not respect boundaries, do you?
I do. It's because I'm trying to help.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? But yeah, the fact when you said if you had one now, you know you'd shoot off with it.
Oh, yeah.
That's because even though you're a year sober,
mate, I'd be smacking it with heroin by the end of the night.
Yeah. So maybe, because that's the thing, isn't it? I think we talk about drink. I'm generalising now. I'm not quite attacking you.
Sounds like you're about to attack me, right?
Year sober is like, it's a thing, isn't it? So because I don't drink, in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, it's done now. It's done a year. You're fixed.
Well, do a year off eBay, Ryan.
Yeah. This is what I'm getting at. I'm not trying to insult you. What I'm saying is,
sounds like you are.
I'm altering my own perspective now because I'm like, yeah. Originally, to me, I'm like, oh, you've done it for a year, so you're cured now. You're free. You're done. Where in actuality, because of what you've just said, I'm like, actually, it's more like it's only been a year.
Yeah, dude, this is something I'm going to have to battle my entire life.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't just stop being addicted. So, well, you don't. It's not that you don't stop being addicted to stuff. It's I'm always going to be thinking about drink.
Yeah.
Not it's not. It doesn't plague my thoughts, but there's always going to be that niggle in my brain. It's like, oh, I could just drink a whole bottle of whiskey.
Right.
I think it's something I will have to fight my entire life.
Well, when you're a little bit more comfortable about it, we'll do a whole podcast about it.
Maybe not so much with the smoking. Yeah. 'Cause I'm not that bothered now. So if I walk past the smoking area, I'm like, oh, that smells so fucking good. But I don't like. Oh man, I think more about drinking than I do smoking, and I've been off drinking for over a year.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just something I am going to have to fight my entire life. This is why I know I can't have a drink.
Yeah. See, this makes more sense to now. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I still go with my thing of like lifetime goal.
Oh, lifetime goal, who knows? We'll look down the road.
Because that'd be cool. Yeah.
We playing Pokemon tonight?
We might have time for a game.
Yeah, sound.
Might not live. If there's anyone that's watched the little live we've done, I don't know if it could be asked
I'll tell you what.
Go on.
Let us know if anyone's watched it and if it's good content and you'd want to see more of us doing the live Pokemon battles.
Yeah. Because after the podcast, we always go and do a Pokemon battle with the old.
Well, it might not. It won't be but it won't be the old base decks forever. Eventually, I'll buy some Magic cards we'll get like a dual. We just want to play card games essentially, so we'll get like the My Hero.
I think at the minute it's just because like the way I have to put my phone, like you can't really see what we're playing. So it's a bit shit.
We need better. We need proper cameras.
Need a setup.
Yeah.
This would be if this ever become a thing. Like,
right, man, let's fucking call it.
Okay. Right, yeah. Love you all. We'll catch you next week. Take it easy.
Sorry, it was quite a long one.
Like the video, comment, subscribe, all that. Comment. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
please.
Gonna go
like
before
and
we start
subscribe.
talking about anything else.
Yeah, we kind of waffled on a bit today.
Shit, I swear that says 2 hours.
No, it's saying second hour.
Yeah.
8 minutes 21.
I love how you know better than me.
Well, I saw that myself and I thought 2 hours. Like, I ain't fucking right.
No, because
we're doing it again. Just fucking
fucking hell. Right, love you all. We're going.
Peace out. Mwah.
Coming at you live at 5, 4, 5, 4, 3. Drink my tea first. You can eat shit.
Welcome to Ryan's Road Podcast, episode 33.
Tea's cold. This is a bad time.
That's why I drink coffee. You can drink coffee cold.
Can you?
Yes.
I can't drink coffee hot, let alone cold. It just sounds more disgusting to me.
No, you get iced tea.
Mm-hmm.
That's purposely iced, though. That's just gone cold.
Just because you can drink things, don't mean like you could drink piss.
You don't know me.
I mean, like physically, you could.
Who says I haven't?
I feel like that happened to someone with a Lucasade bottle at school.
Oh, that rings a bell.
This feels like a thing, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, was it? I can't name names, but I think I remember. We'll talk about it off camera.
Fuck's sake.
Anyway, what we're talking about this week, Ryan? What's on the agenda? You said he's the bloke that says callous your mind, isn't he?
Yes.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Where he puts himself through horrendous things just so when something shit does happen, he's ready for it.
Yeah.
He's always thinking, well, I can go through this if I've done this before. It's easy. Oh, what are you doing?
Sorry, just trying to get it to stay close to you. That's better. There you go. Yeah, that's better. Because it was like over here. I just wanted to do that. I wanted to get a microphone thickness close to your face.
Is this still going to be like... Is this going to be outtake still? Or are we on the show now?